Well, welcome.
Welcome. I mean, are you going to sing your little song again? Or
No.
No, okay.
Nope, not going to do that again.
That's fine. Well,
I feel like I need to be closer.
there you go.
How you been, girlfriend?
I don't even have any response to that. I've been good. Just, again, another kind of unfulfilling week. I guess that's what it's like being 30.
This is fulfilling.
This is fulfilling. I like this. This is nice.
This is great.
Mm-hmm. So what are we drinking today, Brie?
Today we're really embracing our hippie roots and our...
Let's be more specific. Like, that's our pretentious Boulder roots. We're making, tell them what you're talking about, and then they can understand
the drink that we're drinking today, whatever, it's delicious.
It is really good.
It is a little pretentious, probably, but
it's fine.
Today we decided to do a little gingerberry kombucha cocktail with some potato vodka kombucha, gingerberry style, with strawberries quartered for a little flavor, some lime juice, and the vodka and the ice. And it's a kombucha mule of sorts, or so the recipe we found.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That.
You have to make that face. It's fine.
I'm very scared about telling our hippie kombucha drink.
Well,
anyway, it's delicious.
Yeah.
And there's a couple shots in there.
A few. Like a handle.
Yeah, and also it's kind of goes along with what I'm doing today, which is we're going to be, for my cooking segment, my quote-unquote cooking segment, we're doing something a little different today. Shay is not going to be reading a recipe to me while I cook.
We're going to still do that, but like this time we kind of...
Yeah.
We're going to change up that segment a little bit.
Yeah, we're still developing how we're going to do that. But anyways, today I'm going to be making a sourdough starter so that you guys can see that it does take a little bit of time and a little bit of love. But then you can make delicious sourdough bread and pass it on for generations.
Yep.
And generations.
Yep.
Literally.
Whole generations.
King Arthur flour, you know that company?
I thought you were going to make up some
King
bullshit.
Arthur, Knights of the Round Table, Camelot. Jesus Christ. No, the bread, the
Only
flour
facts
company.
here at 30ish. Only facts.
The flour company,
the best that
not
Wikipedia
the
can give
actual
us.
King Arthur Sword in the Stone.
No. Anyway, go on.
They have been using, supposedly, their sourdough starter. It started in the 1800s, and they've been using the same one.
I actually kind of believe that.
I know. Isn't that fucking badass? Yeah, and yeah. So it's pretty sweet. I'm going to just share some knowledge about that, too, and we're going to make one together and see how that goes on a podcast.
Perfect.
Talk you guys through that. Anyway, yeah. What are you doing today, Shay?
We're going to, I have multiple personalities or something, but,
well,
today,
maybe you do.
Enough drinks, maybe.
I might need a cracker.
You can just don't chew directly into the microphone.
I'll get under the table when I chew this cracker.
Look at him play.
Oh my god. So, Colonel Mustard is the cat, Shay's cat. We're at Shay's house recording. And Shay's roommate has an adorable little dog named Anakin.
That just ran away.
Oh, he just ran away because he knew we were talking about him.
Yeah.
But I just found out today that Colonel Mustard and Anakin the dog go on playdates together. If Shay's in her room and Colonel Mustard's in her room, Anakin will come knock on the door, and Colonel Mustard will run out of the room and they'll go play together.
It's pretty cute. It's like which I can't believe I'm comparing myself to a mom that's dropping off their child at a daycare, but it's like that where I felt really proud of my son. I'm like, you're making friends. Mommy's so proud. Well, yeah. Single for life, but that's okay.
No.
It's okay. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I don't know why I even said it like that.
You're like, no, there's still hope for you.
Maybe,
someone
Shay.
will be blind, deaf, and dumb, and they'll know this. I'm just joking.
That is not anything I would ever say.
I like to make jokes. It's fine.
I know.
Anyway.
But anyways, their cat has a beautiful...
It's
cat
cute.
and the dog
it's
have
adorable.
a cute
It's something straight out of a Disney movie. It's
It is.
precious. See, look at him.
I thought he just ran upstairs. How did he get back on the couch like that?
Sneaky.
He's stealthy.
There's Mr. Colonel hiding under.
Oh my god, I have to take a picture.
Yeah, he thinks that he's invisible, but he's not.
Oh.
Because he's fat.
I have the perfect
which is a
view of this
great segue for it. My sister turned me on to my big fat pet makeover. And
God.
You need to watch it. It's very silly.
What do you watch that on? Hulu?
Animal Planet. I mean, maybe Hulu? I don't even know. But I think they have some experts.
It's Animal Planet?
Excerpts on YouTubes. On the YouTubes. Ooh. It's pretty fucking funny. Only because I thought that one of the dogs was a beagle, and my sister corrected me, said that's supposed to be a chihuahua. And I was like,
except it's just a little fat.
Well, he got to him right in time. Yikes.
I just don't understand, like, they just work the dogs out and, like, groom them?
No. They don't. I mean,
extreme makeover?
They make them lose weight. So it's like, it's like my big, what is it, that the Biggest Loser kind of thing?
Oh, it's like a competition-y thing?
It's not a competition, but it's like they want you to... It's not
just losing weight.
Yeah, it's not like the dog is has like a mangy eye, and it's just like...
Okay, they don't do plastic surgery.
Better. Okay. No, they do not do plastic...
It's not like botched for dogs.
They don't do plastic surgery on the animals. No, they do not.
That's good.
Wouldn't that be crazy, though?
If dogs had multiple plastic surgeries?
I bet you that there is some whack job, like in LA or some place, that does that. He's like, no,
Botox for your dog.
I will give, that dog totally has a deviated septum. I will give him that nose job for free. He's having trouble breathing.
I am sure that's a thing.
I really hope it's not, but
if it's
going to be anywhere, it'll be in LA.
Do you think you'll be one of those old ladies that walks your cat around in a stroller?
No.
And then you dress it up in the same color as you and the same color as the stroller?
I find that offensive. Mostly because I've already tried it, okay?
I know, I saw you. That's why I was asking if you're going to keep doing that.
He kept freaking out, that little cage net stroller thing, and I was like, shh, you calm down now. Don't make me get out the chloroform again. People stare.
There's a lady in Cherry Creek when I lived in Denver.
Okay.
And she's probably like 90 years old. And she only wore purple.
That from the distance.
I would drive next to her. She'd walk her dog in a purple stroller with its purple coat thing on, with like her purple, all decked out in purple hair, purple sunglasses.
Yeah, girl, get it.
Just purple everything. Mm-hmm. And she would walk down the streets of Cherry Creek pushing that little Yorkie dog in a stroller. I'm pretty sure it had diamonds on it too. Purple ones.
Well, he's living a better life than I am, so kudos on him.
People are crazy. Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't know if you
I'm
were going to
not
do that.
Insane.
You love your animals, though.
I do, but I don't dress them up or
Not yet.
Sleep with them and... Well, I do sleep with... Well, I don't... It doesn't matter.
Anywho, what the fuck are you talking about today, Shay?
What did I roll? Oh yeah, paranormal. So I got a good one. Like I didn't know some of these facts. I'll tell you when it's my turn.
But you can't even give us a little sneak peek. I'm just gonna roll right into rolling out some sourdough.
Ooh, that was a nice segue.
It wasn't. I just said roll 3 times. Rolling the die.
And rolling the dough. Like you do.
Roll.
It's a good one.
Is that Limp Bizkit?
Yep. No. Wait.
Rolling biscuits. Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
I mean, you could say it in a raspy voice, but I don't think it makes it Limp Bizkit.
Keep rolling. Is that corn?
I don't even know, but probably.
I can't hear anything.
You can't?
I can't really hear it.
Can you not really hear it?
No.
I'm watching you. You're all good. I got you. See this? That's your voice, Ariel. Anyway, I'm gonna make you. There it is. Oh, see, look at that.
Wow, my voice
It's
looks
good. It's
like a
very
giant
white.
blob
It's very white
on the screen.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay, anyway,
All right.
delete all that. So I'm going to be talking about sourdough, which is my favorite kind of bread.
Okay.
I like that sour fucking taste. I like that crispy crust.
You
like
would.
those bubbly bubbles. I love it. Sourdough is the oldest form of leavened bread.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. And they, it's at least as early as ancient Egypt. They think it dates back to at least 1500 BC.
Those Egyptians knew what was up.
Yeah, they were like, and they think it came about because someone just left some fucking bread dough out and it became all bubbly and
aliens?
stuff. Yeah. The
Anyway.
the ancient aliens
Just left some bread dough out.
brought
hanging
the
out.
starter from the stars. Star.
I mean, come on.
Duh.
Anybody can crack that code.
Anyways, this is not what I found out on the internet.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
Some
sure
blog
that's
like Reddit?
the wrong information. So, they just think that, yeah, someone left out some bread dough and they fucking used it and they're like, oh, this is easier to digest. And it's
some
fucking
candy.
delicious and this crust is fucking bomb as fuck, man. What are we doing with our bread right now? Let's ferment that shit.
So then they ordered 1,000 slaves to make it better.
Exactly. And then they built the pyramids and they used sourdough.
It was all
To
because of
feed.
sourdough.
Yeah. They probably
Thank
fed
you, sourdough, for building the pyramids.
Yeah, and then also they used these starters, and it enabled them to make a lot of bread and keep it fresh and keep it, without having to use they obviously
Xanthan
didn't have
gum back in
anything
the-
else.
He used
That
the
was
xanthan
stupid.
gum.
That's not what I was trying to say. But it just, yeah. So it became known as sourdough during the gold rush, all the way to the gold rush.
Oh, nice. So fast forward.
Which is
flash
the
forward.
late 1800s. And the miners used to get starters in San Francisco.
I was wondering when San Fran was going to come in.
San Francisco before heading to the mountains.
You know,
And
that
they-
big gap between ancient Egypt and America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they jump forward, and that's the next time in history they were like, oh, it appeared here during the gold rush and only in ancient Egypt. No, that's the only parts I'm covering, guys.
No, that's fair. We can't be here for hours and hours.
No. So I just thought that was fun.
That's pretty cool.
And then, yeah, in San Francisco, as you guys probably know, they have some really special sourdough. But that's because they have their own, it's because this certain bacteria that's only in San Francisco.
Starter.
They
Don't, but it's fine.
They do have some old ones, though. They use fucking... I think Bar Tartine in San Francisco uses a 150-year-old starter.
That's pretty fucking cool.
I might be wrong on that. I'll fact check myself. But I'm pretty sure that's what I read today. Anywho.
That's pretty cool. Like, that's
They're-
almost as old as America.
They have a really special sourdough taste in their bread. Like, their sourdough bread is different than anywhere else in the world because they have a certain bacteria in their air.
From the
That
sea.
makes their bread. It's from it's probably created by the sea and shit. I don't know, but it's a special bacteria that's not anywhere else in the
pretty
world, and it makes their sourdough
fucking
super
unique.
special. And it makes their crust thicker, apparently. And what?
I just choked on strawberry. It's fine. Go on.
Okay, so
Stop it.
sourdough. The best way to make it is with a wild yeast, which is what you make yourself. I mean, sourdough starter, it's a live thing. You have to feed it. You have to
Like a
take care
baby,
of it. It
but
is
it's
like a
better.
little pet.
Because it doesn't cry.
It's going to be our pet, Shay, when we make our sourdough starter.
I'll take good care of it. I mean, sometimes I forget to feed my cats, but that's okay. I won't forget to feed the starter.
And also you get a certain bacteria that you need. It's
Like
when you are
digestively?
doing
Is that
like
what you mean?
so most people think the difference is caused by a special wild yeast. But yes, a wild strain of yeast called Saccharomyces exiguus. That's not how you say it. Exiguus is used to make sourdough bread, as opposed to S. cerevisiae, which is used to make regular breads. So, basically, what we're going to do today is make a sourdough starter. Yeah. And it's basically flour and water that's left out to ferment. You leave it out at room temperature. You can also put it in the fridge, but we're going to leave it out at room to, like, start it. And this starter we're going to make today, we're going to start it, and then it's going to eventually make what's called a barm, which is
Delicious.
is like, yeah, it's just another, there's so many different versions of starters. There's some that, like this one that we're going to use today, you use pineapple juice. Like everyone does different things. So Nancy Silverton, she uses grapes for her sourdough starter. Tartine, like I said, Tartine bread just has had a starter that they've used for 150 years. But, we're going to make one with pineapple juice today.
Perfect.
And
I've never done that one before. I've never heard of that. But I guess it probably is it because it has sugar in it?
Yes, the sugars.
It makes the yeast happy.
Yes, it does. And also, you should use filtered water usually. Or because the chlorine in our water, isn't that special?
Well, that's fair.
Can sometimes kill the microbes, but...
Yeah, and it also grows that tail I've been growing for a while now.
That's true.
So, you take what you get.
Yeah, you do. All right, Shay, we're going to make some sourdough starter, okay?
Okay.
The sourdough starter I decided to use, or start, is Straight Out of Bread Baker's Apprentice, Mastering the Art of Extraordinary Bread by Peter Reinhardt. You probably had this in culinary school, didn't you?
I was going to say, I think I do. I think I have that exact one.
There's a Johnson Wales little lady right on the front cover.
She's got a fancier scarf than I had, though.
She loves the bread that she's holding.
She is. Look at her. She's like, this is my one true love. That's what I do when I hold my cat.
Gingerly. And she's got her little slide with her kerchief, her little Johnson Wales slide, y'all.
It is. It's very nice.
Just so you know, that's the slide that goes on the kerchief that hangs around your neck for your school uniform.
Boy Scouts. Like the little Boy Scout, Cub Scout thingies. Mm-hmm. I don't really know the Scouts because I wasn't a boy.
Yeah, so you weren't a boy, you're right, and you still aren't.
I still have my vagina.
Still are not a boy.
I cannot tell you how hilarious it is just to see a microphone stuck to the side of your face. So, anyway.
I bet it's good. So, there are some steps that go with making your sourdough starter because you're going to want to feed it. You're going to want to just not be like,
a wolf.
All right, I mixed some flour and water together. I'm just going to let this sit for fucking 3 months and something's going to happen. No. It's kind of like a pet, guys. If you're going to make a sourdough starter, you're going to have to feed it. It's not going to be like Colonel Mustard here. Some people do feed their sourdough starters every 12 hours. Yes, Shay, what is your question?
Well,
Shay just raised her hand. Shay.
I feel like I'm like in one of your cooking classes.
I know. What am I doing right now?
But secondly, which my sister's going to be like, I fucking hate you. But I don't feed him regularly. I just have him on like a what do you call those? Like
the thing that tunnels down.
Yeah, just a
like a tower,
just a trough.
Like the cat
I give
tower?
him just a trough. He's like on a self feeder, and it's not like the time when
That's fine.
I didn't spend any money on him because I don't love him.
A cat like that. It's like you can if you're not going to use your sourdough starter every day, you don't need to feed it every day. You just want to put it in the fridge. Feed it every couple weeks.
Shit, that is not what I was taught. So you're educating me.
Actually, hopefully that's true. That's just what this guy told me. So the first 5 days of this starter, you want to be feeding it. And then you get to that 5th day, and you do this other feeding, which is making a barm, is what Mr. Peter Reinhardt calls it.
It's like a baby.
It is. Or the sponge.
Oh.
You know what a sponge is.
I do.
And I'm sure people have heard of a sponge. This is what a sponge is. What? SpongeBob?
I said it's what you have to not have a baby.
Oh, a sponge. Jesus H. All right.
No, I do know what a sponge is, but go on.
So, if you do not plan to use it for a while, so like if you're not working in a restaurant, you're not going to make bread every day, but if you are, you're fucking badass and you should.
Right.
But if you're not, do not throw any away until you plan to refresh it again.
Fair.
And follow the guidance given above to refrigerate, which I'll tell you. So, you can put your shit in the fridge, basically.
Copy that.
If you're not going to use it every day.
Cool.
Let's make this fucking seed. Let's make this fucking starter.
Let's do it.
So this
it slows
is
it
day
down,
one.
right? Because
What?
putting it in the cold slows it down, right?
Mm-hmm. It won't be as active.
Yeah, makes sense.
It'll stay dormant.
Yeah.
But then if you're going to use it, you want to take it out like 3 days later.
Right.
And give it a couple feedings and stuff.
Yep. Nice and warm.
Anyway, we're going to make this starter today. Sweet. You can look this up online. You can look this up anywhere. But this is what we're going to do. Peter Reinhardt,
we should maybe put this on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Instagram, shirty-ish.
Shirty-ish.
30-ish. So I have a cup. Also, what I've read from a lot of different resources is that it's good to use a mixture of flours and use the freshest, best flours you can. Try to use organic.
Yeah, girl.
Always for everything you do anyway. Always be using organic.
What you got there?
You can use, today I'm using some organic rye flour to start.
Nice.
Some starters you can just use regular unbleached like bread flour. The rest of the time that you're feeding this specific starter, you do want to use a high gluten flour, which is like a bread flour, just has more gluten in it. So I have 1 cup of rye flour, organic. I'm going to put this, I have a 4 cup like glass measuring cup. You don't want to do this in metal because that'll like do some weird shit to the bacteria. Yeah, that metal shit kills that good bacteria. You don't want to kill that.
No.
You want it to be alive.
I do.
So we got that dark rye 1 cup in our fucking glass thing. Gotcha. Now I have some unsweetened, unprocessed, pure as AF.
Yeah.
Pure AF pineapple juice. I'm gonna shake it up. Can you hear the shaking?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, I just hit it against the mic. So now what we're going to do is I have a little fork that I'm going to stir with. But first, I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of this pineapple juice in here.
I want to taste that pineapple juice.
It's fucking bomb.
Taste it.
It's like still sweet.
It smells like fucking just pressed
pineapple. And we're just going to hydrate this. It doesn't need to be like a pretty ball or anything.
It's refreshing. Just
all the flour needs to be wet. You just don't want any little dry spots. So once you hydrate your your fucking starter, don't worry if the ball is stiff or soft. Be sure that the flour is hydrated. Press this piece of dough into the 4-cup measure beaker and place a piece of tape on the beaker to mark the top of the dough. Cover the beaker with a plastic wrap and leave it at room temperature for 24 hours. So I'm going to do that.
Sweet.
And then, so tomorrow, the dough should not have risen much, if at all, during this time. And then in a mixing bowl, I'm going to combine day 2 ingredients, which is just going to be a 1/2 cup of high gluten or bread flour.
Hell yeah.
And a 1/4 cup of pineapple juice.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to just post.
Feed the shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to post this little seed culture onto our Instagram.
We don't have a Facebook yet.
No, we don't.
We'll get there.
But yeah.
Small steps.
And so that is the start of a sourdough starter.
All right.
Oh, and also, guys, the cool thing about sourdough starters is I don't know if you remember getting like Amish bread or something like that when you were little. I don't know. Sometimes people would hand you like a bag of fucking yeast.
I got white
and
bread.
And I'd be like, Mom.
As a kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's okay.
People are weird over on the Central Coast.
Okay. Fucking Central Coast.
They're
it's
weirdos.
a mythical Narnia place.
But
Don't list. listen to her.
Like, you can give, if you have a sourdough starter and you just keep it alive, you can pass that shit down to your kids, to your grandkids, to like your friends. My friend has her grandma's sourdough starter, and she gave it to this.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, like
It's
how
pretty
cool
fucking
is that?
Cool. It's like how my abuela, because I'm very Hispanic.
Yes.
She gave me, she didn't give it to me, but her daughter gave me her, so my great grandma's rolling pin, which is really cool. Because it's like this little tiny.
I bet it's better than any rolling pin you can buy nowadays.
It's pretty badass. I love it. One day I'll have to make tortillas.
Tortillas?
Right. Tortillas.
Have you ever made tortillas?
Yeah, I have my grandma's recipe. I make flour tortillas.
Let's make them.
I should make them.
All right.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm ready for a shot.
All right, let's do it.
Because I did it.
Do I need to leave the
I'm just
room,
glad that's
or-
over with. Let's move on.
Moving on to Cheesman Park. All right. Never mind. Okay. Anyway.
Cheesman Park? Where
Cheesman
the
Park.
hell is that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. You don't. Yeah, it's all good.
I actually have an incredible Cheesman Park story.
Go on.
It has to do with drugs.
Oh. That sounds like a good time.
Sorry, aunties.
No, it's fine. Do they listen to this?
I know at least Aunt Marianne might start.
Oh, well.
Which she's cool.
So she's like the cool aunt.
She's like, I have all cool aunts. Okay, and it's not aunt. Actually, most people I think she calls herself aunt.
Yeah, I know. You're wrong about this one. You might be right about the damn...
No, aunt.
Oh, shit.
I will never say aunt. And my name is Brie auntie.
Well, that one's pretty cute.
I know. Anyway, so yeah, do you want to hear my Cheesman Park story?
Yeah, actually.
Or should I save it for a rainy day?
Let's go ahead. No. You need to... Why don't you say that
Redeem
before...
myself?
No, you don't want to redeem yourself. Jesus. It was good. We learned about dough, and we learned that some of it can be sour. And that
sourdough's
the Egyptians...
good, and you should make bread.
Yes, and the Egyptians were... That's where it was at. Anyway.
Yeah, the fucking Egyptians be making that shit.
It's true. So, go ahead. You tell me the story, and then it'll be... Oh, my God.
So one
Jesus.
day, I was with my friends / coworkers.
Was this during work release?
No, this has nothing to do with work release. I probably should be in work release from this incident.
I'm just pointing out how stupid I was, so
not.
it's fine. So, because I didn't know what work release was.
Oh, yeah.
So.
No one knew. I was just telling that story again the other day.
Yeah?
People don't know what they're like, wait, you had to go back to jail?
See,
I'm like,
now
yeah,
I
I
don't feel
did. It's not house arrest.
Now I don't feel so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot, Ryan.
Mm-mm. Anywho.
He's my cousin. He called me an idiot.
So it's after
He didn't
work.
really. I love him. Love you. Okay.
It's after work, City O City, 2011.
Okay.
Maybe 2010. Sorry.
You're fine.
And so it was one of my coworkers / one of my homies' birthdays, Mason. Okay. And he had some mescaline.
Okay.
Which is a derivative of peyote, apparently.
Right.
This might have been the synthetic form, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Near nor there.
It was near nor further away, nor here.
It wasn't over there. It wasn't
next
under
door.
the bridge.
No, it wasn't
It was
in a
right
box
here
or in
in
a
my
fox. Or, well, I guess it wouldn't be in a fox because that would be weird if you had to get it from the fox. It doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he had mescaline. We got off work at like 2:33 in the morning because that was the time our kitchen was open till. And I have never done anything like that before. I'd never done shrooms. I'd never done anything.
Still have not done
and
that.
Still haven't.
Nope.
And they were like, we're going to do this. You want to hang out with us? I was like, fuck yeah. Because it was like two of my and I felt super comfortable with these people that I was like, this is going to be fucking fun.
Right.
So
That's fair.
took our mescaline. It's probably about 4:30 in the morning at this point. Then we are in downtown Denver. We worked at like right around by Cheesman Park, and they lived around Cheesman Park. So we decided to go out to Cheesman Park, and that's when the fucking mescaline starts kicking in, and there's like that big like pillar platform, like marble platform thing with the pillars and the cover. I don't know I don't even know what it's called. Gazebo, giant thing. Pavilion. There you go. Yeah, so we're by that, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm in outer space. I also felt like I was in the ballroom at Beauty and the Beast, and I started just like dancing and like spinning around, and like everyone else was, there was a couple other people with us, but I remember seeing my friend Mason dancing, and his arms were like it was like trailing, like his arms were like light trails while he was moving.
You were fucking high.
Yeah. And then we were leaving there. I felt like I didn't have a body. I was like holding my shoes, but I was like, how am I holding my shoes?
It was a ghost.
I'm like, I felt like I was just like floating around. Okay. But maybe I was a ghost because you're about to tell me. Anyways, that was just, I felt like I was in Jumanji at one point while we were walking through those neighborhoods by Cheesman Park because they're so old school mansions and weird. Yeah. And also I was high.
No, but there are,
Also walked around till about 6:30 in the morning, and actually it was like 7. And that's the gist.
That's a good gist. Okay, so that was a nice little segue into obviously what Cheesman Park is, which we all know
happening.
That it was a paranormal because that's what I rolled. But
it was.
So Cheesman Park is one of the most haunted places in Colorado. So really, maybe a ghost was being your beast, and he was dancing with you.
Yeah, maybe I was.
He was being just
floating me around because I did not feel like I had a body.
Yeah. All right. So, So this is gonna be like a little bit of backstory on Cheesman Park and some of the ghosts. All right. So, so it is located in, like you said, near downtown Denver, and it opened in 1858, and it was originally called Prospect Hill Cemetery. But in 1872, the U.S. government determined that the property that the cemetery sat was actually federal land, having been deeded to the government in 1860 by a treaty with the Arapaho. And the government then offered the land to the city of Denver, who purchased it for $200. So that's whole $4,000, like around $4,200 in today's money. Yeah. Yep. So So I know. So
the Arapahoes. Here's $200 fucking dollars. Dicks.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yep. So although today it is still mostly remembered as Mount Prospect Cemetery, but in 1873 the cemetery's name was changed to the Denver City Cemetery.
So wait, when they bought it from the Arapahoes,
it was changed to Denver City Cemetery, but it's still known as Prospect.
But the Arapahoes was the Prospect Hill Cemetery when they had it?
I think so. There isn't a whole lot of like detail on that. Okay. So again, my knowledge is about as deep as some unnamed sources on the internets.
The empty glass that I just finished. Just kidding.
I mean, honestly, like I'm presenting this to you like when I would like present things in my sophomore year in high school. It's like, well, hopefully people believe this. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Shay, you didn't know every...
I know. It's just like I like getting up in front of like a fucking... in front of my peers and being like, well, I hope they don't think that I'm going to fail this. No. Oh, this is really bad.
Did you just hear my sourdough presentation?
I stayed up all night on Spark Notes. Shit. I hope they don't think I'm bullshitting. Anyway. So at this time there was different areas of the cemetery. So they were designated like different, groups. So there was like let's see, there was Society
of... That was a nice little inward burp.
Yeah, it was nice. There was Roman Catholics, Jewish, the Grand Army of the Republic, Oddfellows, which I've never heard of that before. I don't even know what that is.
What's the Grand Army of the Republic?
I don't know, but it sounds like something out of Star Wars.
It does! Like, literally, the Revenge of the Sith.
I know, it is. Oh,
that is literally out of the fucking...
It is.
Is out of Star Wars.
I swear to God. So, and then also, let's see, a segregated section at the south end for the Chinese. And then some sections were well maintained by family descendants or their organizations, but others were terribly neglected. So in 1875, 20 acres at the northeast, to the right a little bit, where the Botanic Gardens are now located, they were sold to the Hebrew Burial Society, who then maintained it, which much of the rest of the graveyard fell further into despair. So, in 1881, a hospital for smallpox victims, nicknamed the Pest House. So, sounds like a lovely house.
Oh my God, gross!
Doesn't it sound lovely? So, it went up where the community garden sections of the Denver Botanic Garden. So, sense a trend here. So, where like the botanical gardens stand now, like a lot of crazy shit went down. So,
it is a little eerie in there sometimes.
Right? I've only been there a couple times and I don't like it.
I like it there.
And now I kind of know why, though.
I feel at home.
I know you did, you sicko. So, this hospital also housed, so along with the smallpox, the hospital like housed like the elderly, and they were pretty much like just dumped there, just left to die. And behind the building, there was like a mass grave where they would just
Is that old apartment building that's over there? Is that the hospital?
The what?
There's like this old fucking giant apartment building that looks like it could have been a hospital.
It might be because the botanical gardens, and I think that's why a lot of this stuff kind of like a lot of the spooky stuff is happening because where the botanical gardens are, because a lot of like the office buildings and stuff like that were like the old houses and stuff like that where, and like part of where the graveyard kind of stood. So...
Gross.
Anyway, so by the late 1880s, the cemetery was rarely used and in great disrepair, becoming an eyesore in what had become one of the most like the Cherry Creek. So just an upscale part of Denver, essentially.
Like we can't have this pest house here anymore.
Right. So before long, the Colorado Senator Henry Moore Teller persuaded the U.S. Congress to allow an old graveyard to be converted into a park.
Okay, ew, so, that's so...
Oh, it gets worse.
Okay, so, first of all...
So, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is that why there's so many hills?
Because there's giants buried there? Like, what?
No, because they just covered up the dead bodies.
Just wait.
Okay, sorry.
Just wait.
Jumping
Are there
ahead.
hills?
There's like all those... There's like... Yeah, it's a hilly part. Like, it goes up and then down.
Oh, shit.
You know, it goes up and down.
I have not spent...
Like a hill.
It goes up and down like a hill? No, I haven't actually been to, like, a lot of... I've been to only Cheesman Park a couple times, and I don't like it. It freaks me out, which now I know why.
So you had that feeling before you knew?
Yeah, there's just something I just don't like about it. But I've never been there at night, but there's just something I just don't.
You have to be on mescaline to really get the good vibes.
Clearly. So, in 1890, the Congress authorized the city to vacate Mount Prospect Cemetery, and in oh wait, 1 minute. Stand by. So they just wanted to make it into a park. So families were given 90 days to remove the bodies of their loved ones to other locations. So
what?
Yeah. So and just think about So give them.
All right, you gotta get your fucking family out. That's
get them in
coffins.
Yep. So get them in goal.
Were they even in coffins then?
They were in coffins. It gets worse. Okay. So they were given 90 days, and so those that could afford this
you have 90 days to vacate your fucking coffin.
Get your grandma in goal. Get your grandma in goal. So those that could afford this began to transfer their bodies to other cemeteries. So they just began to like exhume them throughout the city and elsewhere. So due to the large number of graves in the Roman Catholic section off to the east, the mayor sold 40 acres to the archdiocese. Wow, look at you with your word helping me. I can speak. Anyway, which was then named the Mount Calvary Cemetery. The Chinese section of the graveyard was given to the large population of Chinese who lived in the Hop Alley district of Denver.
Hell yeah, and that's a fucking restaurant now that's
I didn't know that.
A Chinese restaurant, and they play fucking hip-hop, and it's a fucking amazing restaurant.
Damn,
Hop
girl.
Alley.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
Learning shit.
Because of that, the big Chinese population in Denver. Anyway,
that's awesome.
in a historic area.
Yeah, I love it. Facts by Brie. So most of these bodies then were removed.
Might be true, might be not.
It's true. It's fine.
No.
Most of the bodies so then were removed and they were returned to the homeland in China. So several years went by and the city waited for the citizens to remove them.
They sent him back to China?
Yeah, they just sent him back because they didn't know where else to. I mean, because I don't know why, but I guess that's just where they ended up going, was just back to their homeland.
Okay.
So
well, that's nice.
So time went by and the city waited for like the citizens to remove the remains of the families, but really a lot of them were like left unclaimed, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, so they're still in the they didn't get all the bodies.
Right. So most of the people buried in this cemetery were vagrants, criminals, and paupers. So that's why they were left unclaimed. Which again,
I guess I don't think about that. Like, what do they do with fucking?
Oh, just wait. So that left more than 5,000 unclaimed. So 5,000 bodies were still there,
and they're crazy
and
souls.
The city, right? And so the city is just waiting for these. They're just waiting for their families to come get them, and nobody came for 5,000 of them.
Perfect.
So in 1893, the city of Denver then awarded a contract to an undertaker to an undertaker named E.P. McGovern to remove the remains. So McGovern was to provide a fresh coffin, just a freshly pined coffin for some bones. You know how you do. So for each body, and then to transfer it to Riverside Cemetery, which I don't know exactly where that is. But 5,000? So 5,000 of them. So his job was to unearth all 5,000 of those guys and give them a fresh coffin. So like a fresh bed of sheets. Just turn down the sheets a little bit. Put a mint on the pillow and just take them all off.
What is...
And then, but at the cost of like $1.90 each. Which I didn't do the math on that. So for the...
It's like $10?
Right. So,
roughly?
Sure.
$10 a coffin?
Are you just like an inflation calculator?
Yeah, I am.
Got it. Cool. Okay. So that work began in March of 1893. And actually, like, people like would gather, like, just, you know how like people would come and like watch like fucking public like executions? So people would come, like reporters and even just passerbys would just come just to watch it happen. Just because they were
just exhume these bodies.
Right, just because they were curious. So for the first few days, the transfer was...
What else is there to do in 1893?
Right? What?
Hey, they're uprooting all the fucking coffins in the park. You want to go watch?
Let's go watch. It's better
Let's go, Billy.
Right? It's better than watching Mary playing with her hoop on a stick. It's way better than that.
Than playing jacks.
Absolutely. So for the first few days, it went all fine and everything else. But however, McGovern soon found a way to make even a larger profit off what it was doing.
Off the dead people? Perfect.
Yeah, so, that always comes, it's
part of the... it's a circle of life.
It's kind of, but not really. Okay, so rather than utilizing a full-size coffin for the adults, he used child-sized caskets that were just 1 foot by 3.5 inches long. So he was...
That's why they were $1.98?
That's like a fucking Walmart price. Like, rollback prices.
They're child sized, but we'll shove your dead loved ones in there.
$2, but it's $1.98 here. So no. So he would take it. So he was using the child coffins. So they were still like, it doesn't matter if it was a child or an adult size. He was still getting paid $1.90 each. So if he's getting child size, so obviously he's doubling or tripling his profit because
he's not using that much wood.
Right. Or no, well, he's like using, 3 coffins to 1 coffin.
Yeah.
So so what he was doing,
was being a scam.
So one source claims that what was done, at least partially because of the coffin shortage caused by a mining accident in Utah. I didn't look what that meant. So
there is a coffin shortage from the mining accident. Hey, Maybe they had to bring them through the mines.
So what he was doing, he was hacking all these bodies up. So hacking all these bodies up.
I guess there are bones.
Yes, but some of them weren't. Some of them were still fucking very
preserved
intact people. Not like cherry preserves, but they were preserved, all right. Okay.
Not for your crackers, cheese, and jam.
Nope, it was crackers, but not the kind that you're thinking. Because he was crackers. Okay. Anyway, so McGovern sometimes used as many as 3 caskets for just one body. So he was tripling his profit. Where am I? So in their haste, body parts and bones were literally strewn everywhere and disorganized, like just out. Like, you know, like when you go into like somebody's house and you're like, oh my God, there's bowls everywhere on this counter. That's what it was like in this fucking park. Just so you know, just to give you
different people's fucking. Yes.
That's what
body parts.
Yes, that's what I'm giving you a visual. So in their haste, in his haste really, it allowed like souvenir hunters and onlookers to help themselves to items from the caskets. They would just go in there and because they would be open caskets, just open.
What would people do?
They would go in there because again they're like, we don't
take
play
their
jacks.
Jewelry.
Yeah, they would just take whatever was valuable within like a pocket watch.
It was like a fucking swap meet
of
what is that called? Cadavers. Oh my God! Yeah. I am literally picturing this happening. With people in like 1890s suits and shit.
I know, like
with their little dressed up kids, like, oh yeah, let's grab this fucking watch.
Like
the arm's still attached. Perfect.
Exactly. It's just like in their dressed up suits with their like perfectly parted down the middle hair and.
Ew, their hair's still intact.
Indubitably, yeah. Probably a lot of them, yeah. Because I mean, think about it. Like these graves in 1890. I mean, some of them that are, 5,000. It's still a decently used gravesite. They're not all bones. So think about that. So it's kind of gross.
I don't ever think about that ever.
Well, that means that you're not psychotic. Okay, so so the Denver Republican newspaper ran a story breaking the news about like kind of the grave robbing and kind of what they were kind of uncovering about McGovern. In its March 19th, 1893 headline, it read...
Your last 2 stories have been in March. A lot of things have happened in March. I just want you to know, and we're like talking about them in March.
It's because I do my planning a lot. I don't. It's just by chance.
You're a monthly.
I don't even know.
Anyways, I just wanted to point that out because you just said March again, so I was like, we're in March. I guess it's April.
It's happening again.
Anyway, forget it.
It's fine. Okay.
It's April. April Fool's was yesterday. April Fool's, guys.
But it's still the same, kind of close. Close. Okay. So, this newspaper ran a story breaking the news, and saying the work of ghouls.
The work of ghouls.
Yes. The article described in detail McGovern's practice. Goblins. Practice of hacking up what were sometimes intact remains of the dead. So, just still flesh and, yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
What? How long does it last? How long does your body last in a fucking coffin?
I don't know. I didn't look that up because I was afraid okay, perfect. You put that on your Google fucking search.
Okay, I'm ready.
Bullshit. So hacking up of the article described in detail McGovern's practice of hacking up what was sometimes intact remains of the dead and stuffing them into children's-sized coffins. The article partly described the scene. The line of desecrated graves at the southern boundary of the cemetery sickened and horrified everybody by the appearance that they presented. Around the edges were piled broken coffins, tattered shrouds, and fragments of clothing that had been torn from the dead bodies.
Tattered shrouds.
Right? All were trampled into the ground by the footsteps of gravediggers. By the footsteps of gravediggers like rejected junk.
Oh my God, that is so weird.
So this is so weird that this place is haunted, right? Mayor Rogers canceled the contract, clearly, and the city health commissioner began an investigation. Although numerous graves had not yet been reached and others sat exposed, just sitting out. Exposed meaning like just sitting out, just hanging out in the sunlight, bacon. A new contract for moving the bodies.
Did it smell like shit
sure
in this neighborhood?
Fucking garbage. A new contract
Basura?
So a new contract for moving the bodies was never awarded. And the city simply just pulled out the remaining headstones. So instead of like they canceled his contract and they just never fucking replaced it. And they were just like, just pull them out.
We don't need to do all this. We'll just keep them buried.
Just remove the headstones. It's fine. Okay? It's just fine. So then the city built a temporary wooden fence around the cemetery. And in 1894, grading and leveling began like in preparation for the park finally. And though...
How did they grade and level the land when there were thousands of bodies in it?
They were just like, it's fine. Just don't even worry about it.
Just crash them.
It's fine. Just bury that up. It's fine. So grading and leveling began. Though several of the open graves wouldn't be filled until 1902. So think about that. In 1894 is when they started it, and there was still open.
10 years.
There were still open graves, and in 1902, so roughly 8 years later, the graves were finally kind of filled in. Finally, shrubs were planted and the holes filled where the coffins were removed.
At least they planted some shrubs.
Yeah, the shrubberies. Work was completed in 1907 without ever having moved the rest of the bodies.
Oh my god.
So the Denver Botanical Gardens is also on the land that was once part of the Catholic portion of the cemetery. The Hebrew burial grounds and this Chinese cemetery were redeveloped into portions of today's Congress Park. And the rest was built over and is now residential property. So bones
There's some badass residences over there too.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. But I still wouldn't live there because it'd be haunted.
40 acres apparently is what you said.
So bones are still found regularly at both Cheesman Park and the Denver Botanical Garden, obviously, during construction projects. So the most recent was in 2010, which I know was 9 years ago, during an irrigation work at the park when the workers uncovered 4 skeletons near the park's pavilion. And I read one it was a story that a person submitted about their experiences around that area, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we would just be doing our gardening work, and then we would find some bones and we would just send them off to the coroner. That was just part of our spring whatever. I'm like, what the fuck, you guys?
Just a normal spring day.
Yeah. So depending on what kind of sources you go to, today an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 bodies remain buried in and around Cheesman Park. So
that's so weird. That is
it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Cheesman Park's one of the most popular parks in Denver.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are running around on dead people all day long for the last 100 years. And just having their fucking
picnics and so
fucking doing it.
So now
tripping on mescaline, running around.
Just some of us. We're having weird, which I ran into a lot of that when I was doing my research a little bit. And
people doing mescaline in Cheesman Park?
No, a lot of people with the Reddit stories, and they were I just kind of knew that as an anonymous sex meetup. So oh, okay, well that's cool.
It is.
There you be.
There's lots of hills and dead people to hide
behind the dead people. So anyway, here are the ghosts. So people who live in the residences surrounding the graveyard when it was being dug up, reported sad and confused looks from figures that would knock on the doors and windows. So this was back in the 1800s. And the spirits were apparently
sad faces in their windows.
Yeah.
Ew. Yeah. That's so creepy.
Right.
That's what I'm just waiting to see in the Windsor house.
Just let me in.
But I never have. So
I know, that's why I'm scared to stay out there past dark. So the spirits were apparently confused, having been disturbed by the desecration of their graves. There were also many reports of disembodied moaning and the English cries coming from the open graves in the cemetery during the exhumation work. So there's that. So that was back in the 1800s. So today, other visitors say that they have heard the sounds of hundreds of whispering voices. and moans echoing around the park, which gross, disgusting. That's just nope. Hell no. So, one common sighting of a ghost in Cheesman Park involves the spirits of little children, which, if I'm going to see any fucking ghost, if it's little children, fuck that.
Is that your least favorite
It's my least favorite ghost
that you want to
is
encounter?
little children. I don't like it. And they also...
they're just going to look at you with their eyes.
But that, and a lot of people hear like just disembodied like children's laughter, which that freaks the hell out of me too.
Can I have a side note for a second?
Oh, obviously. Yeah, go for it.
So, speaking of children's laughter, it's creepy as fuck, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, children... Okay, the laughter of children is not creepy as fuck, but, like, obviously in scary movies, they make it really creepy, and it's eerie sometimes in certain contexts.
Yeah.
I've known people with parrots, and one time I was house sitting for someone with a parrot, and it could make multiple children laughter.
Ew.
A parrot.
But like,
I've known two birds that can make this
like a
sound.
real parrot or like
a real parrot.
No, I'm sorry, that was a wrong thing to say. Not like a fake.
Fucking macabre, bitch.
Not like do you remember like that parrot like?
Yeah, not the talky one, not the walkie-talkie one that you record. No.
But do you know the one I'm talking about? Like the one on the
Girl, I used to want that every day of my life. I know what you're talking
My grandma
about.
had that one,
and it was like I just repeated what you said twice, fast, in that exact voice, and with that exact motion that you just saw, which is me nodding my head like a freak.
like a parrot. The cat really liked it.
But yeah, not that fucking parrot.
Okay, anyway.
I'm sorry I didn't let you talk at all during
you're fine.
that.
I like it. It's good stuff. Okay, so...
Anyways, parrots can make those sounds, and that's creepy as fuck, because you think that it's ghosts, but then it's a parrot, but you're like, why are you doing that?
I know.
Why are you sounding like creepy little children?
I know, exactly.
Laughing.
Nobody likes that.
While no one is around and it's dark and late.
Nobody likes that.
Anyway, parrots.
Parrots.
Go ahead. They're also...
The devil.
Molested?
Oh, no.
Infested.
Only by Michael Jackson's ghost. Oh, no.
What is that called?
What? Possessed?
Possessed.
Jesus Christ.
Woo! Kombucha.
Yep. It'll
got that boocha.
Get to the boocha.
Anyway,
all right.
Go on.
Anyway, so... Where was I? Okay, so also there's a female spirit.
Children.
Oh, well, the children, and they laugh and whatever, and then when you see them, they'll acknowledge that you see them, and they just disappear.
And then they're like, ah, and they run away.
Yep, just like that. Just like a hyena. Yep.
That's how
in the
they
night.
laugh.
Yep. So,
in the night.
in the night. In the dark. So there's also like a female spirit who frequents the park. And they've seen her singing to herself, and she wanders around the park, but then she vanishes suddenly when people get close by, like a cat. So,
like Buddha, your cat.
Yeah, you only see her very, very...
I saw her tail today.
Yep.
We're making progress.
Yes, it's true. Just very darty. So there have also been... I don't mean to keep caressing your knee. I'm very scared.
I'm very uncomfortable.
I'm very scared. So there's also been various sightings of strange mists and shadowy figures among trees, and sometimes the outlines.
Wait, shadowy figures among trees?
Yeah.
Can
I? What?
Because I'm sure my friend Todd was just really high. I hope he listens to this. He probably doesn't.
You should text him.
I'm going to tell him to listen to this episode for sure. But while we were tripping, he had a very emotional experience with a tree that he said had a woman's face and was crying to him, and he cried with it.
At Cheesman Park?
In Cheesman, when we were in that neighborhood.
It might have been this
probably
lady.
A fucking ghost,
It might
Todd.
have been this lady.
You were seeing a lady in the tree. It wasn't just the mescaline.
It was the lady in your heart.
But he said she was like he had a fucking crazy experience, like emotional.
It probably was a fucking ghost.
It probably was.
Jesus Christ.
She saw his vulnerability.
She did.
Anyway.
Okay. So
that really makes sense. That's proof.
Right?
That there's ghosts.
You're doing drugs. It's totally proof.
It is. Anyway.
Okay, where was I? Okay. Yes. So there have also been various sightings of strange mists and shadowy figures among the trees, including your friend Todd's
Bobrovitz
shadow tree, and sometimes the outlines of the old headstones that can be seen in the moonlight. So
wait, what?
So like
you can see the headstones sometimes.
It's like the ghost of the headstone. So like you see the outline of the headstones, which is a very weird thing because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
that's kind of bizarre. I don't know about that one. One of the strangest phenomenon that have been reported is that many visitors to the park experience an odd sensation if they like lay down on the grass. They'll lie down and they feel like they can't like stand back up.
Oh,
so they wanna,
no.
All right. So they have that odd sensation like to lie down, and then like when they try to get up, they're feeling like they're being held down by a force, and I'd be like, oh, fuck that. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then also there's, the residents who live in the homes that border the park also say that they have experienced strange occurrences in their homes ranging from shadow figures and poltergeist activity to the confused wandering spirits that have been reported by the residents back in the 1890s when the bodies were exhumed. So lots of poltergeist activity. Whatever the fuck that means. There is one particular spirit named Slackjaw. And
ew!
I know. It's
That's
about
literally...
It's about what you kind of can envision in your brain. That's what this is. So he is much more chatty than most. One eyewitness account of meeting with Slackjaw describes the male entity as a pale, thin man with a broken jaw who is dressed in a blood-soaked, torn hospital gown. When the witnesses, so like the two guys that were
the
walking
real
around,
men that were alive.
Yeah, the real men, like the grocery worker and his friend, asked if he was supposed to be in the hospital. The man replied that they threw him out. And because he had no money to pay for the treatment. And the man then disappeared, and they realized that they had in fact been conversing with a ghost. And it was Slackjaw. So he roams the park every night looking for his killers because he's claiming that that's what happened. That took way too long to get through.
Slackjaw!
So
that is such a gross name. It seriously sounds like...
It's because like
it's... Because his jaw was broken. It just, like, had a bunch of slack.
So some of the quotes was, like, the ones who did this to me was, like, they stabbed me 15 times. So his...
cut off his...
He then lifted his sleeves to show us what looked like very deep stab wounds in his arms, back, and chest. Yeah. So...
Jesus, Slackjaw. That is fucking the worst name ever.
Yes, exactly. So
I'm gonna have nightmares.
I know. So,
straight out of 13 Ghosts.
So, and the other reason why he was called Slackjaw is because the guy that, when he was talking to him, he could see that his jaw was broken.
Yeah.
So, obviously.
His jaw had extra slack because it was broken and ripped.
Exactly.
What?
So,
Cat,
another one is was from a security office from the botanical gardens. So he would hear his name being whispered. He would hear also then at the same time screaming in his ear. He would hear like a woman screaming inside the building and outside in the garden. He would hear doors slamming. He would hear footsteps. He would hear crinkle of someone so when he would be in his office or whatever, he would hear somebody like sitting on his leather couch.
Oh no.
But nobody would be there. I'm like, oh fuck no. Oh fuck no. Oh hell no. So many no's.
Someone had a crush on the... What was he?
Security officer.
Security officer.
So he also claims that his keys fell out of a door and landed several feet away from the door. And then
I'd be like, what the fuck, dude?
I know. So and then,
come on, ghost.
And then he said, and not to mention like countless times of like overwhelming feelings of sadness, anger, and fear. And then he said, like, other witnesses' accounts were seeing mists of human figures. Like, so this would be, like...
Mists?
Mists. So, like, this would be, like, on the property of, like, the botanical gardens. So, mists of human figures, something grabbing like, their ankles. So, fuck
gotcha.
no. I gotcha! So, something...
They're tricky little ghosts.
Right? And he said, like, something grabbed his friend's, like, shoulder and tried to pull him into, a boiler room, like, of the office buildings. Like, in their elevator, like, their emergency phone from the inside of the elevator rang on more than one occasion just by itself. Yeah, I would not be working there. This would be a big fuck no. And then...
Especially if I was hearing screaming in my ear.
Right? Fuck that. And whispering at the same time. So the last one is, like, they have the videotape of what appears to be a boy peeking out from behind a file cabinet and a secret staircase from the library to where the master bedroom was, which is, like, in the Waring house, of which was donated to the Botanical Gardens.
I wonder what house that is, because there's so many fucking cool houses.
But I bet you there's a plaque
garden.
that says, like, a Waring house, and that's where they say that the boy is.
I know, but I don't know which one that is. I
But I'm saying
those houses.
But I'm saying, like, there's probably, like, a plaque that says, like, the Waring house. Yeah. So anyway,
long story short, problem
that's my
solved.
ridiculous story of...
No, I didn't know any of that
the
about
Cheesman
Cheesman Park.
So, yeah.
And that's literally another place right in our neck of the woods.
I know. I wanted to do, like, since we did the first one, like, it's kind of like how I did the first time when we did, like, I did the murder story in Colorado. No, I did the first one in Colorado.
You're smart.
I am very smart.
Have you heard of what we really should do? It also...
What?
For maybe the next one
Which
is
one?
what I was thinking of. Have you heard of Bingham Hill in Fort Collins?
No. What is that?
It's like an old child cemetery, and people have
sick. Oh,
and people
gross.
have stories of like you'll leave your car there, and like you'll come back, and there's like little kid handprints on your fucking car and shit.
Chills. Oh,
Out there in LaPorte or some shit. All right, Shay.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have my thingy. Here we go.
Holy shit! Roll, Shay.
4.
Ah!
Cooking. We should do... That'll be a fun one if we actually do the one where I just read the recipe.
And I just guide you.
We'll do it for real this time.
Okay.
It'll be good. All right. Cooking.
Sorry, I copped out this time.
No. It was good. You didn't cop out. It was fine. 1 minute. 6. Science! Okay. So you got 6 and you got science. Perfect. All right. So
And you got cooking.
I got cooking. So we'll do a recipe read. That'll be hilarious because you're gonna yell at me a lot.
I'll really be your teacher.
It's gonna be good. For real this time, because that's what I'm gonna do. So it's fine. All right.
See you guys later. Thanks for listening.
You're the best. Oh, shout out to Instagram.
Oh, hey guys, follow us on Instagram. Also comment on what you guys think about us.
Yeah, please do. Like, even if it's like a little harsh, that's okay.
Yeah, or if it's like
constructive,
you guys are crazy and funny.
Constructive. It's all good.
Yeah. So find us on Instagram at 30ish, THURDYISH, or even email us if you want.
You can.
30ish@gmail.com.
It'll be good. We'll do dearest reader.
Yes,
great.
dear diary.
It's perfect.
Today we'll be your dear diaries.
It's perfect.
We'll answer any questions that you have for us. We'll do maybe a topic you have suggested.
Yeah.
Gotten a couple of topic
absolutely.
suggestions. So feel free to throw us those.
Yeah.
We like those.
Absolutely. That'd be cool.
And that's all we got for today.
Exactly.
Don't forget to drink your kombucha, y'all. And if you want to put vodka in it,
It's better.
real good.
It's better.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.